Hey everybody. So this is Old Job Crush. So whether you knew somebody had a crush on you or you didn't know someone had a crush on you, this is what was going on your old job. They could be any of the old jobs. I'm going to try to go ahead and pull out some initials at the beginning of the reading because I tend to forget if I leave it to the end. So your old job crush, whether on the job for you that you didn't know about, any of your old jobs, okay? Let's get into this reading, okay? I'll leave it right there. All right. So let's see. This just has some letters in there. I'm going to put it real close to the camera. I'm going to grab a few and throw them out. So it's not going to be something that I did. I just throw them out. Throw them out there. Let's see. I'm going to put them on top of the lid here. We got a P. Somebody's name could start with a P. We got a K. What is that? A Q. Uh-oh. We got an L. Another P. Come on now. What is this? A F. So we got two P's, a K, a L, a Q, and an F. So I'm going to try to make sure that you can see that. Hopefully. These are really tiny though, but that's an F. We have an L. Let's see if you can even see it in my hand here. A Q, which that doesn't come out very often. A Q. Okay. Let me try to get it into my hand. Between my fingers, good. Okay. And then you have these two P's. So I don't know. That is just for some kind of confirmation. I'm trying to put it in my hand so it's visible. Two P's. Peas and pod. I don't know. All right, let's get into it. So let's talk about the crushes at the old places of work. Okay, now I have shuffled a lot off camera. I'm not going to use too many decks. I'm going to use these few, but I'm going to shuffle again. And I'm going to take that out because I'm getting ready to really mess up the cards here. I was getting ready to. I was trying to. All right, here we go. Holy Spirit, thank you. Give us at least 2 to 3 cards, one card at a time, for who is the crushes on the old jobs. On the old job, who was crushing on the collective that's going to see this reading on the old job that they were on, whether this last one or maybe even one a few back, but who was crushing on the collective that's going to see this message? Who was crushing? I'll take the first one because I can't take all of those, too many. Holy Spirit, we got the 5 of Swords, so some type of competition was going on. Then that one wanted to come out, so we're going to let it out. That is the King of Cups, somebody intuitive and emotional stability. Holy Spirit, one more card. Who was crushing on the collective on the old job? Who was the crush or was crushing on the collective on the old job? One more card. Ooh, not all of these. I'm not taking them. That's too many. Now, I mean, I can read, but I don't. That's too much. One card is flipped up. I'm sorry. I'm going to take that one. And there's the 3 more. I'm going to take those 3. And let's see who this is, okay? The bottom is the 5 of Pentacles. So some kind of poverty, lack situation. But we don't know what it is until we get into it. I'm going to let these and lay these all out here. I don't do reversal, so that's why you see me doing that. So 5 of Swords. We got the Star, the Devil on top of the King of Cups. And we got the Page of Cups on top of the 3 of Cups. With the 5 of Pentacles, that's the overall energy. Oh, right. So let's see. With this 5 of Swords, whoever was crushing on you, not to say that they were competing with you, but it could have been some conflict too. It doesn't always have to be competition. but it could have been some conflicting things going on behind the scenes, or it could have been some competition going on behind the scenes. Maybe it was some conflicting things going on behind the scenes that you didn't know about. That is the Star card that you didn't know about. And it's probably all to do with the star energy. Somebody was bringing some hope into people's lives or something like that. Or maybe you struck up hope in the lives of an individual, but it's caused some kind of conflict, even if it could have been conflict within. With the King of Cups here, what came out on top of that was the Devil. So come out some kind of addictions or bondage, some temptation. Maybe this brought up a lot of temptation. Maybe this person, maybe they shouldn't have been. Maybe they felt like you were a temptation. This could have been something that was conflicting them. This is a stable masculine energy that it was intuitive, and maybe they picked up on like maybe they had a fear that it was just temptation. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just they were, whatever the case, obsession. Some obsession was going on towards the situation, and that could have been very conflicting. Feeling the hope and all of this renewal energy and this hopeful energy, but then at the same time this fiery passion that felt like more of an obsession than like love and the real thing, and crushing at the same time. And sometimes that can feel like that. And with the Star card, it's like this could have been completely new feelings, or something that this King of Cups, I had to check and make sure at the time. This King of Cups maybe is like, haven't felt like this in a long time. With the Three of Cups, right, that came out first. And then with this Page of Cups. So they felt like, ooh, maybe this really can be some kind of celebration. Then with the Page of Cups, right, they had some intuitive nudges. And they were starting to, not only were they obsessing about the feelings that they were having, they was also beginning to have some little emotional sparks. And then also extra little insights or flashes or whatever could have been going on internally. Being the King of Cups, they're emotionally aware. They're emotionally stable, and they do things from a place of being emotionally mature and intelligent. So they took it as, man, I'm crushing on this person. I'm crushing on them. But they are a king, and they understand that I can't simply just crush on this person. And then what if I become obsessed with this person? What if this person becomes obsessed with me? What if this star energy that I'm feeling, this hope renewal, doesn't pan out to be that? And they got a lot of nudges, because not only was they feeling the emotions in the heart center, like a true love feeling that was coming up in them, they was also feeling this bondage type energy. Or maybe this person had been married before. Maybe they had been in bad relationships before. And maybe they started to feel like some kind of obsession. It could have been some conflict going on around them. Other people could have been talking too. Or maybe some other people saw you in this way. Or maybe somebody, was looking at you too. And maybe just in all of that, it become too much. And it was like, no, I don't want to get to the point where now I'm thinking about this person. This person could come in, and instead of them being this star hopeful energy, this person could be this devil energy and bring me completely down, right? So with the overall energy of the Five of Pentacles, they may have felt like they would be like in complete lack if they went for it. That they would be broken. Like if you turned them down or something like that, or if you got into this relationship, they would get to this point of being obsessed and have that obsession, and either you or them, but really more so I'm thinking possibly them. But with the King of Cups being very emotionally intelligent, they would have thought like, what if it messed up? We could both be left in poverty or in a lack mindset, or just isolated. Especially when it comes to being on the job. That could be very isolating. Things don't go right. with that being the overall energy, even at this point, I think they feel like, I'm gonna look at what's on the bottom here. This is what they thought might happen, and they might be feeling like a little bit lackful, a little bit like, I wish I had done that maybe. Then on the bottom it said like they could have possibly gone toward it, and it would have been something, the building blocks of it, like they really could have possibly had something. I don't read reversals, so with this being in reverse, I'm not going to take it. Reverse is the last one I'm going to take. It could have been an ace. It really could have been an ace because the strength is also underneath there. It would have been something strong if it would have been like a low and slow type of energy. So somebody could be looking like, man, actually, and this is because you're not on the job. This is what the old job that was crushing on you. They actually see like, man, we could have actually built something because that person is actually really stable. They were just conflicted in their mind because not only did they have some emotions, but they also had some fiery passion or some obsession that they might have felt like was obsession that was actually just stronger emotional feelings than they had expected to feel or have possibly felt in the past, or they haven't felt that emotional connection that deep in a really long time, along with the passion part of it, along with feeling kind of obsessed, kind of like youthful. And it was bringing out that celebratory energy, that page energy, that insight, that run forward. And it's like, no, I'm a king. I can't just run forward. I could leave myself in lack. I could leave this person hurt and isolated, and it's on the job. So let's keep going forward. Let's see. What is this crush on the job thinking about? Holy Spirit, can you clarify this star card? Clarify the star card with the Five of Swords. Can you clarify the star card with the Five of Swords for what this crush at work? Four of Pentacles. Can you clarify the King of Cups with the Devil when it comes to this old job crush? Can you go on? Holy Spirit, can you further clarify the Three of Cups with the Page of Cups for this old job crush? Can you clarify the Three of Cups with the Page of Cups for this old job crush? One card, Holy Spirit, clarify. Okay, this one doesn't want to go back in. I'm going to take it. Ace of Cups. Okay, let's get into it. We got the Four of Cups on the bottom. We got the Four of Cups. So introspecting. Somebody's going in and thinking about this situation right now. I gotta look and see what's underneath here because I did the other ones. I don't read reversals, but underneath that was the Sun and the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is all about being connected to Earth, practical and diligent, and this is something that they're looking at right now. They're introspecting on that what they were feeling was the Sun. They was feeling vitality energy. They was getting a lot of clarity, things that, it was this was this vitality. I'll say that, not clarity, but they were having this vitality, this energy that was cutting and pulsing through them with this star energy. They was feeling this, right? They're doing some deep introspection right now for sure, but they were feeling this vitality. And then with the Knight that was behind that, I ain't going no further because I did it for this side. Let's do it for this side. Let's balance it out, right? This Knight, this was something that was connected to the Earth. Even though, they're looking back, this is something that they're seeing. They're seeing that, yeah, it was a Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles is grounded. The Knights aren't always as grounded. They can be reckless, but a Knight of Pentacles is a more youthful spirit. They saw you in a more youthful spirit, whether you're feminine or masculine. They saw you in a more youthful spirit, and you were bringing up times in them where they were grown, but maybe it was times past when they were more jovial, more ready to strike out on different adventures and go towards what they wanted to do. In a grounded way, though. This was something that really they were thinking about, like this really could work. Maybe it actually could work because it's not two people that are, super young and they don't have some kind of foundation. So that's what they're thinking about. When I look at the card, that's what they're thinking about. And they're thinking about like they didn't see everything, but they did feel this vitality, this new vitality. And now they are thinking and introspecting. And with this Five of Pentacles, they may feel a little of a loss. It's a loss. It feels kind of isolating because they're thinking about it. Like, yeah, you know what? As I think about it, you know what? It could have been something. So let's continue to go on with this. So we got, of course, first the Five of Swords and the Star. So some conflict over this star energy. This star energy is vital. I mean, it's just, you're drawn to it. It feels like I can have inspiration and faith towards something new and good. And then with the Four of Pentacles, this is like security. Thinking about security being affected. Let me make sure I get that close. As you can see, that man is sitting there thinking, he's like, man, this feels good, but I'm conflicted. They were conflicted about their own security and your security, and messing up their security and yours. They were thinking about that. It felt good, but the conflict that they were having was, man, this star energy gives, I feel such a hope. But in that hope, what if I mess up my security? What if I make myself unstable out of this? So then with the Knight of Wands coming up from the King of Cups, with the Devil, this possessiveness, they were very emotionally aware and attuned to the fact that my feelings are really getting me. And I can't say, they could have been a water sign, masculine type energy. And maybe they were thinking like, you know what? I got to, not just use my intuition. I got to really look at this, because I know maybe they didn't have a full like obsession, but they had a fear that, what if I get obsessed with this person? And then I can't let them go. And then it's wrong. And then this is going to upset me in a way. And I want to remain grounded. So they made an intuitive, but also a grounded pentacle type decision. And then with the Knight of Wands came out to further clarify that. So reckless. This is a reckless energy, right? This is somebody that's passionate. They're ready to get out there, have a good time, adventure, passion, and they rush on into it. They didn't make this choice to do that. No, they didn't. They wanted to. And they had to think real long and hard, because see, this is a water energy. This is the king. Like, he really had to pull on his intuition. Him or her, or this masculine energy, pulled on their intuition a whole lot. And they had to continue to think. And they stayed conflicted with, wait a minute, I feel this. I'm feeling this passion. They really were feeling it. Slight obsession. Like, I like this energy that I'm feeling. But if I rush in, I could be doing something reckless. And let me go on, and then I'm going to read it the other way, because I really see a little story coming together, right? So then we had the Three of Cups with the Page of Cups. So celebrating. Feeling this energy like I could really celebrate with this person. And then with that Page of Cups, I'm getting all of this insights, right? I'm feeling these emotional beginnings, and my intuition is telling me, yeah. And then I'm getting these little insights, but it's the beginning stages. And being a king, I done done this before. I done had emotional feelings before. I've had these emotional nudges and feelings before, and I messed up before. And so maybe it could have been like, instead of just using full intuition, it's like somebody said, no, I can't. But then with that, what clarified it was an Ace of Cups. In fact, what they felt was real. They actually did feel it was actually an ace coming from the divine saying, yeah, that's a safe bet. In fact, it was a safe bet. And it could have took them a really long time to figure out, like, yeah, this is a safe bet. Could have took them a minute to figure out this is a safe bet. But as I'm going to read it this way, especially for these bottom cards here. The Four of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. The Four of Pentacles is always concerned with security. As a king, it makes sense. A king in the upright will be thinking about their security, right? And making sure that they don't upset their security. The Knight of Wands is passionate. wants to be reckless. And what I'm seeing is this is like really what it really, this is what it is. All of it is what it is what I'm really trying to say. And sometimes I feel like I can't get it out the way I need to. I feel like where they had the major conflict was between their security, your security, and being reckless and moving forward in this passionate energy of adventure, moving forward with all of this hope, this renewal, moving forward. They were scared that their recklessness would cause them to be in an obsession and put themselves in some kind of a bind. Going towards their temptation would cause them to be in a negative space of being obsessed, or one or the other being obsessed. But I think as they have reflected, and they could be actually thinking about this right now, like this really could have been a celebration, a Three of Cups. This really could have been, this was a spark, like a new insight, a new romantic feelings have really sparked in their heart, like their heart opened up in a way where they wanted to be loving towards you. Not just this passion, though the passion is here. You got the wands, the Knight of Wands wanting to move forward. The Knight is not super mature as a king, but this person in their emotions, they're intuitive and they are emotionally intelligent, and they went with that in the healthier way for them, with maybe what they've experienced is not wanting to be obsessed, not wanting to let their passion just take over. And they in fact actually made a decision that was very loving, even though it kind of puts them in a position to not have this because they didn't go after it. But the point is, they could have really celebrated, and all those insights and intuitive nudges, they were going in the right direction. It actually was pretty stable. And it was an Ace of Cups. This was something that was divinely kind of orchestrated out. And I think they see it now. They see that now. That's something that they actually are thinking about now, because the Four of Cups is here. So it's a very watery energy with that sun. That clarity has come through now. It has. And with the Knight of Pentacles, they still would have been grounded. Maybe not as grounded as another king. Let's say a King of Swords being a King of Cups. But the Knight is still a pretty grounded energy when it comes to the money side of it. The Knight is not like going all the way back to a page. It may knock them back in a few areas because, you know, you get a little obsessed. You have somebody that you're with, you want to plan and be with them more often, right? So right now, kind of what they're thinking about is like it really could have been. And there's another, that's the other Ace of Cups, right? It really was what you do when you get a new relationship. You kind of have that extra honeymoon period for a little bit. That person and you guys might have kind of been in this Knight energy, just running by the seat of your pants. But being that y'all were already stable energies, King energy was out here, they just weren't sure whether or not they were really upset, not only just themselves, but I think they made a really mature decision. And it's because they had this Page of Cups, it was a real spark of emotions for you. And that's a good thing with them being a king, and they had a real spark of love, or something really sparked them. It really, really made them think about not just what they wanted in the passion department, but they thought a little bit further. So that's where I'm going to leave it. This is what your old job crush is thinking about.